Another beautiful day here in central Montana, and today we're doing some fencing. Well, we're getting everything set up to do the fencing. Not sure how far I'll get tonight, but we're getting there. Got all the tools. This post here is the one that's coming out, one that's actually not surprisingly rotten in the ground. As you can tell though, this fence is held up with a few prayers. Now, unfortunately, I'm not touching this fence down there. That ain't on this fencing project's agenda. We're gonna be building the corner right here off this one, and we're gonna rip out the fence line going that way because we're building the fence line across there. You can see that power pole just barely. You see that power pole over there? That's whoops, sorry, wrong one. That one right there. That's the one we're shooting for with this fence, this cross fence. So like I said, getting everything over here. Got to get the tractor over, rip off this wire, put a hole in the fence, make the neighbors happy, all that good stuff. So, got the fence cut. We are going to drive our corner post in right here where this dirt mark's at. Because I was looking at the field edge here, and you can tell this used to be the field right there, and big old hump right here. So to try to miss that just a little bit, we're going to bring the corner down to here instead of putting it up by that post. And then that'll get us a nice straight shot to that power pole over there. Doing the fencing this way, we have to do it this way because financially we can't do it any other way. I can't afford to fence in the whole area at once. The downside to this is I'm gonna end up with a lot of interior fencing that necessarily I don't know if I want. So I'm being very strategic on the first builds here, so I get as much return on the investment of time in the fence as I can, right? So the reason I'm not messing with this fence is on this side over in these hills, because from there on you got the nice little flat up top, and then it's nothing but hills and very low production ground like that, and I'm not gonna get as much grazing out of that as I would on fencing this direction across the flat, and that's where we're improving first. So that's what we're doing. I'm gonna get him set up and get the level on it so we get drill out. And the reason we got an auger instead of just pounding is because we're putting in 10-foot posts, and the pounder will not go that high to do a 10-footer. So we got to drill, this 3 feet, throw the post in, and go from there. So this requires both hands on my part with the level, and I will pick this back up in a second. Alrighty, got the post sitting in the first part. Now what he's got to do is turn around and get the pounder over here, and we've got the post low enough the pounder should be able to get the top of it, and we'll pound it in. And we're trying very hard to make sure our corners stay. So we're using a 10-foot post, and we're gonna have less than, it should be around 5 foot, a little less than 5 foot out of the ground. So these posts are going in the ground a long ways, and they should make good tight corners, which is why I thought about trying to cheat the system and not build the corner completely. I don't know. Probably won't do that. Probably got to do it the right way and build all the corners. But I was thinking that, from now on this fence, because it's 440 yards, it's a quarter mile stretch, so I imagine that it all needs to be done right. So I'm gonna move this stuff here. But yeah, so I didn't know if I was gonna build the corners or not. Time-wise, just thinking of that, but we will, I imagine. Let's get this fancy unit that borrowed from the neighbors. There we go. Alrighty, so this looks like we're just a little bit low on oil. It's not really wanting to work all too well. We're gonna go grab some hydraulic fluid, fill it up again, and go from there. But we're getting started here. So now, you know, on this fence, all we have to drive is 4 posts. If I don't do the corners, 4 posts. If I do corners, which most likely I'm going, it's gonna have to be 6 posts. No, 8 posts driven in the ground, but not all 10 footers. Half of them will be 6 footers driven in the ground, 5 and some odd inches deep. So you only got a little around a foot sticking out of the ground stub wall for a stub pipe. So he's gonna go get some more oil. We're gonna go from there. Stopped here. As you tell, we're just working right over there across this flat. So they've been in here pretty good. Just ran one sheet back through, one little one, and since they've been doing so good, we're gonna let them out to this side. There's nothing out here. They think there is. Whatever. We'll let them on this side because they've respected the fence now for a good amount of time. So what are you doing? Can I open it without getting shocked? Maybe? Well, folks, if you hear me yell, you'll know I couldn't open it without getting shocked. Gonna put on my glove, just it don't do nothing besides make me feel a little bit better. Oh. Gonna have to grab that extremely carefully. Am I ready for an 8,000 volts? No, I'm not. Anybody ever play a game of hot potato? Come on, Chip! Come on! Touching the corner. Not too bad on the corner, I guess. They realized it was still on. I'm just within kicking range. I'm not going to reach out and touch you. Alrighty. Is it off? There we go. Now, to go get hydraulic fluid. And like I said, they think there's stuff out here to eat. They've been fighting to get there since I put up the center divider. So we're gonna let them hang out. Probably want to turn the fence back on when we're done messing with it. And that way they can still come across here, go to their water. And we'll feed them again here. Oh, probably an hour or two. Not too terribly long. They'll get 2 or 3, probably 3 bales tonight. We only gave them 2 last night, so they'll get 3 bales tonight out across here. But they think there's stuff out there, so we'll let them have it for now. So I'll get back with y'all. So we got the hydraulic fluid, got the post pound in, got the spinning Jenny set up. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna hand pull it out. Could hook it to the 4-wheeler, but if we did that, and you could end up with a very, very big knot on this other end. So I'm just gonna grab this wire and start walking with it to where we need to go. And then we're gonna park the tractor on the other end here, tie the wire to it, stretch it tight, which means we're probably gonna have to put a post in the ground about right where I'm at, because we just went up a little knoll. So probably gonna have to put some kind of post here, a T-post or something, keep the wire up that we can pull through and go from there. But other than that spot, should be pretty good to over where that pickup's sitting. I was trying to think of shooting for that power pole, but then I'm leaving a lot of field here to my right, and I don't know if I want to leave that much. So it's either going to be that power pole, the pickup, or the black fence post that you might be able to see. It's going to be one of those 3. So I'm going to get this walked over there. Well, folks, I almost made it with the wire here. Right here, but I guess the spinning Jenny jammed up because I'm not able to pull no more, which is why I'm doing it by hand instead of pulling with a 4-wheeler and getting it all in a big knot. Hopefully it's not too terribly bad at that end. 4-wheeler and stuff's right there. I don't know. My easiest option is to aim for that power pole, because then I'm right here on this point. If I go to that post, I'm going to be out here in that, and then I'm going to have to go up and down those. And I don't know if I want to spend the time to mess with that, or just do a straight shot for that power pole and go from there. But so like I said, this here's the flat to the power line is a flat. Other side of the power line, it just turns into that. It's really steep and not very grazable because there's no production on it. So once I get this fence up, I'll probably put the horses on this side, because I'm not really focused, like on the hillside stuff, I'm not really focused on improving that land just yet. And I know I really should have the horses in with the cows, so they get moved all the time too. They've never been a part of that kind of a system, and honestly I just don't know if I want to deal with that. So they're probably going to get kicked up here. They're not going to go nowhere. They're not going to test the fence at all, so I don't have to worry about them getting out. I'm not going to be able to just take the cows out here because the old existing fence is junk. So they'll test it and they'll be out. So I'm not doing that. We are gonna hop on here and go to the other end, get rid of that knot. What's in the Jenny, I suppose. Okay, see what kind of knot we got. I bet you it jumped below the thing. Oh, I'm good. Why are we on the bottom? Well, that's no good. I didn't get the spool on right, so it's pulling. How did you jump underneath? Okay, maybe not. Hold on. I gotta pick it up over here. Okay, for some reason it jumped underneath the wire and we weren't able to get it out. Yeah, I got the roll on right. Let's see, then you let off some slack, it jumps off, and then you're in a knot. So I'm gonna go to the other end, finish getting it stretched out. So what we did is we tied the wire to the tractor on the other end. I'm gonna fill in the hole here, finish this pipe off. So you can see it's not very big above the ground.
The pounder doesn't reach high enough.
And wouldn't have to do this if the pounder reached the 10 foot, but it don't. So little extra step there, no big deal. Gonna get that finished off, put the fence stretcher on, pull off of this one. Like I said, I'm gonna have to go on this hillside here and pick the wire up and either put it on a post or pick it up by hand and let it fall back and let gravity do its thing. Wire won't lie as long as there's nothing blocking it. So and then we can adjust the other end because we're hooked to the tractor. We can move it this way or that way and see where we want it exactly end up. So that's the goal for this evening, and by the time we figure out where the other post is going to go, we'll probably do chores and start again tomorrow. But getting a good start here. All right, we got it picked out of where we want it. It's going to cut right there off the peak. So it'll be good to go. I'm going to go here and mark on the ground. And then you got to go do chores. But got the one pipe in the ground, got this marked out, so tomorrow it'll go quicker because everything's hooked onto the tractor. We're got all the tools out, started this process, so we'll gonna get the next three corners put in, the pipes anyway, and then I can stretch the wire, pound in T-posts while my brother builds the corners, and we'll do it that way. Now on this existing barbed wire fence, just for time constraints here, and because basically I'm going from this power pole to that power pole right there, to that one right there in the middle, and it's nice, kind of level. So I'm just gonna run offset wire on this barbed wire fence for the time that they're in here. The goal here for me is to be able to put up cross fences, boom, boom, poly wire when they're lambing all the way to the end and back. So there won't be much pressure on this fence here. I mean, until the time that where I'm grazing the roadway. So we'll see. We'll see if I get to where I put offsets on, or if I just cheat, like extremely cheat, and run two wires this side of the road, so then I don't have to get no gates or nothing when I go get to the to the trailer house where we keep all the meat. But like I said, the goal is to be able to do this with them, across the whole thing, so there won't be much pressure here. That being said, I don't want him in the fields. He harvested that last year, so most likely won't be nothing on it this year, but I still don't want him out there eating the regrowth from the seeds that are put down and whatnot. That's because I don't want the animals out there on that chemical. So they're going to be right here and do the best I can. We're going to get this fence knocked in, and then we got to decide where we're going to be building corners. I got to figure that out. I don't have money to build fence per se, but the goal is this summer just to knock out a few corners here and there as the summer progresses, and then, you know, get them knocked out. You can string a wire, pound post, and as you know, money allows. So, but we're gonna effectively, like I said, the horses will be on this side. This will be a nice big pin. We kind of got another pin on that side of those bales to the trucks, so this will be a good lambing area up here for us. And we want to hay bomb this. We're trying to up the production, so it'll be very interesting to see that. And you know, if we have to, we might put the sheep out here on this flat with the netting. We have grazed it that way. So problem is just not really a whole lot there, and we'll see. It needs the animal impact too. But let's go do the chores as soon as I get this wire tied off from the tractor. We're sure tempting fate on how well they're starting to respect that fence on rolling hay right there in front of them. But it'll be all right. We're gonna take it down tonight once we move them back to this side and the hay's unrolled over here. We'll take it back down and then put up again in the next area. Kind of hoping the fencing will be done by then. That's asking an awful lot, but we'll see. We will see. So that was one of 3 bales. Gonna grab the other, get the other 3 unrolled. Got the dogs if we need them. And of course, you got those dogs. Always need those too. So I'm gonna go ahead and cut this net wrap. Get that other 2 unrolled. Look at that. Look at that sunset. Beautiful.